Hey guys, it's Tiki Bull here back with another video. And today, I'm gonna show you a lot of ways to make a redstone clock. Let's get into the video. Also, I figured I should probably say this in this video. The reason there was no Blocktionary this week was because I was feeling pretty sick and I had the one episode, but there was also a 0.5, so I figured I couldn't upload any of them because I didn't have the 0.5 recorded, so yeah. That the episode, whatever episode it is, that'll be uploaded next week. So basically what a Minecraft clock is, it's pretty simple. It's just a circuit so that you get constant pulses off and on like this, instead of just flicking lever multiple times. Now first I'm going to show you probably the most basic clock that you'll ever see, and it's pretty customizable. So you do like 2 repeaters like that, and then redstone dust connecting there, and if you want you can add more repeaters like that going on like that, and it's pretty easy. You can just customize it as much as you want, make lots of repeaters, and then most of the time you only want a 1 tick going through, otherwise, well, it might, because if it gets full then you have to break some dust and all that. So it's kind of annoying, so an easy way to get a 1 tick pulse is to put a redstone block and then a redstone torch on it, because it goes once and then there's your clock going. Now another way to make another simple, easy redstone clock, it's also customizable for length. You can always do these infinitely long, but you probably shouldn't because then it takes forever. Anyways, so you do the 2 repeaters facing different directions, and then redstone dust there, and then here on this one it has to be facing into the block like that, and then you put a block there and a torch there that'll automatically start it, but this one you can toggle on and off. See, it's off and now it's on. Now here's another super simple clock. It's basically just this one. If you were to build that clock, then instead of redstone dust, you could put a block there. And it has to be facing into the block like this, though. And then that also works. It's just cutting your redstone dust in half, but it's also only just taking away 2. But it might be exactly what you need. Now here is a very simple way to make a pretty also common one that uses hoppers so they can like float on their own. They don't need another block to be on, and it's pretty easy to make, and that's how it works. So the item, it's going around all these hoppers in a circle, and whenever it gets in there, then the comparator detects that for an output. So how you build it is you put the comparator there, and then whatever redstone you're connecting it to, and then you just make a loop of hoppers. It's pretty easy, and then don't forget to put an item in it, and there you go. Also, you can make it toggleable with a lever, because if you turn that on, then it'll get stuck in this hopper. Now this is another hopper clock, but the way it works, if I turn that off, then items go from this hopper to that one, and then when all of them are out of this one, then the comparator value is 0, so that one doesn't push anymore. So then this piston can push because the value is something, so it can push, making the it's just a lot of locking hoppers and stuff like that. But it works, so I'll show you how to build it. So you put a comparator facing that way into a block with dust on it, and then 2 blocks away you put a comparator into another block with dust on it, and then you're going to put a hopper facing that way, 2 hoppers facing into each other like that, where the comparators can read them, and then a normal piston off of both of the dusts like that, and then you put a block there, a redstone block, and then you can put however many in there. So this is completely super really good customizable because you can put up to 5 stacks of items in here, and it'll only go when it is full of the amount that you put in there. So you can do anywhere from 1 to 5 stacks. Okay, now I'm going to show you 2 ways to make a very quick clock. Technically this one could be pretty quick if you made it like, well, it's kind of hard to get it quick, but it can be quick. But I'm going to show you a way that works every single time, and it's super useful because it's toggleable and stuff. So you put a comparator, and then out of there, a dust, another dust, the 3 dust all around it going back into the side, and then make sure that little light thing is on so that it's in subtract mode. I don't know what that means, but that's what it's called. So then if you put a source there, then it'll be a really fast clock to push a piston or something. So it's pretty quick and pretty useful, and you can toggle it off. And another way to do that is using a piston and then an observer facing that way, or facing that way with the face going that way, into another observer with the face that way, because then you can have them face each other, and this one sees that one update, so then it updates, and then that one updates, and then they see each other updating and all that, and then they keep updating, making another fast clock. And it's also toggleable. Okay, now here is a pretty long, a really long clock. It works for about 5 minutes-ish, if that's how long it is. Basically, how it works is it'll drop an item onto the floor, onto that pressure plate, so then it'll be there giving an output, and then in 5 minutes, when the item despawns, so you can't get your items back, so don't use diamonds, otherwise you're just destroying them. So in 5 minutes, it'll disappear, meaning that the redstone there will let go, and then it'll shoot out another one. So basically every 5 minutes you'll get a pulse, which is good for like AFK farms and that kind of thing. Or you can just do this. But that's not why I built it, so don't do that. Anyways, how you build it is you need kind of like that, and then on there is a dropper. And then down here you'll have a pressure plate going like that. And then you need more of that, like that. You're watching, so that is the most descriptive word you're gonna get. And then a redstone torch there, a dust there, and then a block with the dust there. And then you can put your items there, and then you can start it like that. And then you kind of just don't not start it, you know? Well, I guess if you put a lever there, then it wouldn't ever go again. So there you go. That's your 5-minute timer clock thing. Don't use diamonds. Okay, now I'm going to show you a rather large clock, and it's not really that useful for anything, but it looks cool, so I'd say use it just because it looks cool. Basically, it's a piston feed tape, so then whenever you would start the piston feed tape, then it needs another block there. Then it goes around, and this is a little way to make a piston feed tape. It's pretty cool, I like it. And it can go 12 blocks, kind of wirelessly-ish. Anyways, so you can take a value from that. That's how it works. And then you kind of just take one out to turn it off. You have to figure out a good way to start it again, because you have to do something like that. So you can't really use a piston to stop and start it, but I guess you could. Anyways, now how you build it is you take a piston like that, and then an observer going that way into some redstone dust, and you just do that module a lot of times, and then you would go like that, and then go to where that goes, then that, and then dust, and then leave a hole at every piston so that that's just how you build it. And then you do this. And then this one has to line up with this piston. They all have to line up with the next piston, otherwise you'll ruin things. Really, that's the only reason. There we go. And it is now done. So then you can put a block there. And then when I do that, there we go. Super easy to build. And it's unnecessarily large. Okay, we are now on to the last design for making a redstone clock, and this last one is probably the simplest one yet. It uses the least amount of redstone. Even this one technically uses some. I guess this one doesn't have to use any. No, the comparator is redstone, so all of these, they all use redstone, so that means that this last one is the best, and I'll show you how to build it. So you go to a crafting table, and you take 4 gold ingots and make a shape like that, and then in the middle you put a redstone, and there you go. It's probably the most detailed clock yet, because it has like a little sun and a moon, and we're in always day, so it'll never change. Isn't that the best clock to have? And that is the end of the video. That was 10 different ways to build a clock. Some were 5 minutes long, some were a Minecraft day long consistently that it works the best. Some were like milliseconds long, and some were super customizable, and some were the best to build. If you are ever building a clock, you should probably build this one, because why not? But anyways, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you use some of these in your own redstone builds. That would be amazing, and if you do, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. See ya!